News9's relentless coverage has finally forced authorities into action. Repair and drain work has begun on the Panattur-Belagere main road in Bengaluru's Mahadevapura constituency. The move comes after a shocking incident last week when a private school bus slipped into a rainwater-filled pothole and toppled. More than 20 children had a narrow escape as school staff and locals managed to evacuate them through the emergency exit. The accident highlighted the dangers of the road, long neglected by civic authorities. Now, concreting work and drain clearance are underway. For years, residents have complained that the Panattur-Belagere stretch had become unmotorable, with potholes turning into death traps during rains, dust storms in dry weather, and unsafe conditions for both pedestrians and vehicles. They also allege that land grabbers encroached upon stormwater drains, worsening flooding and road damage. We have my colleague Mahadevapura now joining us live from Bengaluru with the latest. Vajji, talk to us, give us an idea of how bad the situation was when it comes to the Panattur-Belagere road and how much work has happened so far now.
Well, Krishna, the situation of this particular was the road was bad, and it was very evident through this video itself that we are showing on our screen of this particular bus that fell off the road, where 20 kids were almost in a very dangerous situation. The entire bus has overturned, and at that particular day itself, we've seen how not just the bus, but a lot of other vehicles that were stuck at that particular spot. And then the next day, when we followed up with the authorities on what has happened with the roads, we saw that instead of repairing the roads, what the authorities did was they picked up stones and gravel from the nearby gardens, nearby park, and they placed it over there and tried to cover that pothole. That was the immediate measure that they did, and then we picked up that story, and after which, right now, what we have learned is finally that road has been repaired and cleaned. Now, they have blamed a lot of encroachment that happens in the nearby areas, which has become the cause for these potholes. But this is not the only potholes that we see in Bengaluru. You and I, who are from the south, we've been in Bangalore. We've seen the entire city filled with potholes. And this was just one such case where we followed up and made sure that an impact happens. And right now, what we've learned is that road has been repaired by the authorities.
And it's one important thing that has been mentioned is that the role of the media when it comes to getting authorities to take action, isn't it? This is a News9 exclusive that eventually went on to be heard by the authorities, and not just heard, action is being taken.
Well, absolutely, Krishna. On a daily basis, we do a lot of stories where we don't expect any action. We do it on the basis of two reasons: documenting or making the people aware. But there are times when actually an impact happened, and this is one such story where, because of the incident itself, imagine if the bus had overturned and those 20 people, we would have lost anybody in those 20 kids. It would be one of the most devastating things for a city at that point of time, because it lost its own children because of potholes in the city, which is nothing but a menace for Bengalurians. And we followed up on the story, and there are a lot of such potholes in the city which are still open, which are bigger than craters, and those things also need to be shut down. We will have to be more vigilant on the ground. But one such case where we were vigilant, we made sure that nothing like this happens, because that entire day we saw vehicles falling one after the other, and it was a helpless situation for Bengalurians. And finally seeing it being covered, it's a relief and a joy that it's a News9 impact.